Hello everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to our channel with us. My name is Komang.
My name is Mirza. My name is Andru.
In this time, we will discuss the story of the sacred Pancasila monument located in the Lubang Buaya. Check it out.
Recognize the turn of Thursday, September 52 Friday, October 1. 1965, this historic event occurred and involved BKI members and Karabriawa force. This movement was actually aimed at overthrowing Sukarno and turning Indonesia into communist. Dipan Sutara Aidit initiated it. Aidit was the head of the PKI at the time. Mastermind figure G30 SPKI. The launch is intention, then Aidit made instrument to the people of Indonesia. The goal was clear, to get full support for his intention of PKI to make Indonesia a more advanced country. He also launched his action by creating an alliance of Nasakom, nationalist, religion and communist conception. It was here that the audit was clearly stated as the mastermind of brain of the G30 SPKI by the government of the Republic of Indonesia during President Soeharto era. In the kidnapping, 4 people were killed at Lubang Buaya, while the other 3 were immediately killed at their own residence. They are Ahmad Yani, MT Haryono, and D.I. Panjaitan, while Aha Nasution managed to escape. Lieutenant General Ahmad Yani, Mayor General Haryono, and Brigadier General D.I. Panjaitan were senior officers in the army. Ahmad Yani was then Mr. Commander of the Army, Chief of Staff of the Highest Operation Command. Meanwhile, General Abdul Haris Nasution, who managed to escape, at the time served as Minister of Defense and Security. Actually, Aha Nasution was the one who actually mentioned it being the main target in the murder.
Event stories. Yutaryani, a section officer of the Pancasila Sakti Monumen Information Guidance from the Indonesian Armed Force, once said that pursuing the passage of time to the past, more than half a century ago, it had always broken his heart. The dark and full of wounds always made his emotion flare up, remembering how the general were killed sadistically. Reportedly, the other 4 were still alive when they were taken to the torture house first. Adjutant Nasution Andreas Tendean also later became a victim. The torture house in question is a residence of one of the residents in Lubang Buaya village. Shortly before being killed, the generals were told or maybe forced to sign the name of the Council of Generals. It was the PKI deception that the army would hold a coup against a legitimate government later. The General Council itself is a nickname for a group of generals who are rumored to want to commit treason against President Soekarno and government of the Republic of Indonesia. According to Yutaryani, even though it was only an imaginary story written by the PKI, Sparman was first told to sign, but the insisted that the Indonesian army will not carry out a coup, and at that point too, the torture of the general and Nasution surviving aides took place. Major General Sparman, Major General R. Suprapto, Brigadier General Stoyo, First Lieutenant Pierre Andreas Tendean, and finally killed after being tortured. These generals were beaten and pioneer using weapons. The post-mortem results even showed cracks in the bones of the head, broken hands and feet. This was because the general were hit hard using PKI boots. In the condition between life and death, the general bodies were then crushed without facing and then thrown into a well in the Lubang Buaya area. The well has depth of about 12 meters with a width of 75 centimeters. After the general bodies were in the well, they were fired again and again. The goal is to make sure that they are really dead. Then the top of the well is covered with a rubber trash for camouflage that under the well there was no suspicious matter. Moreover, a group of corpses of generals who were killed were slaughtered.
October 1st came and still no one smelled something wrong. Finally, on October 4th, bodies were found and removed from the well. The body was immediately dissection and autopsy at the Gatot Subroto Army General Hospital. Soon after, the bodies of the generals were taken to the army headquarters to be properly buried on October 5th, right at the commemoration of the birthday of the Republic of Indonesia Armed Forces. Funerals were held along with state ceremonies. Another information also needs to be known more about the general who wants to discuss what I had to do on September 30, 1965. He is Brigadier General Ahmad Sukendro. A CIA intelligence report entitled The President's Daily Brief in 1965. Army generals were actively communicating with the United States and included in the CIA report. It was aimed at eradicating the PKI. The report is now accessible to the public. General Sukendro, as the only survivor of the army plane crash after the September 3rd killings, admitted that it was indeed a big question whether AD could eradicate communists, while Sukarno objected to the intention of the generals. Is that the nickname brain trust pinned by the CIA? John Rosa in the Daily Mass Murder book claims that the term brain trust is shown to a group of thinkers in the army, namely Ahmad Yani, Suprapto, M.T. Haryono, S. Pahman, and Sukendro. This name was added by Ahmad Nasution, Sutoyo, and D.I. Panjaitan in Sukarno's book written by Anthony C.A. Day. PKI called them the Council of Generals. They mentioned that Sukendro had escaped death because at the time he was on an official trip to Beijing, right on the night of the murder of the generals. So why do we really hear the name? Rosa said Sukendro was an intelligence general who was quite close to the CIA and US officials. John Rosa, associate professor of the Department of History of the University of British Columbia, in his book The Reasons of the Mass Murder of the September 30 Movement and the Suharto Group, termed Lubang Buaya now as Sacred Land. John Rosa explained in his book a monument intentionally erected with 7 bronze statues of fallen generals, all stood as tall as humans with a manly and challenging attitude. On the back wall of the statue of the generals, a giant Garuda statue with mighty flared wings has been placed. The Pancasila Sakti monument is one of the sacred points at Lubang Buaya.